All right, beautiful, sunny Florida. And today, fight fans, we're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Island 8, Chiesa versus Magny, or UFC on ESPN 20, whatever you want to call it, man. Special Wednesday card. I was supposed to have a guest for this episode, but things fell through. He had to jump out. But you know what, man? I'm looking forward to going solo with you guys. I'm going to have a guest pretty much most weeks anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm bringing the big guns on Thursday for the McGregor breakdown. I'm going to have my boy Will Martin on here, so we're just going to roll with it solo here, man. I mean, it's going to be a long one anyway. We got 14 fights here. I like this card, man. I mean, I'm going to take Wednesday fights whenever I can get them. Um, so yeah, I'm down with however card this looks to begin with, but when I went through it, man, I like this card a lot. I like it from a betting perspective. I like this card a little bit more than the one we got on Saturday, to be honest with you. And it's super filled out. It's going to be nice for DraftKings, man. There's going to be a lot of spots to target for sure. Like 28 fighters on this card. I mean, hopefully nothing falls through, but yeah, we got a good one, man. Trying to think if I have anything else to get to. Oh yeah, so I did a last minute DraftKings video for this card previously on Saturday. I did it like 20 minutes before the card started. I wasn't expecting anybody to jump in. I think it got like 40 views. I'm gonna start doing two videos every week. I'm gonna do my breakdown, full card breakdown, usually with a guest, and then I'm gonna try to do a DraftKings video separately. Now, I'm not gonna be able to do that this week. We have three freaking cards this week. If I was gonna do things the way I want to do them, I would have to put out 4 videos this week, and that's just, I mean, with my schedule, that's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna try to dig into the DraftKings side a little bit more just in this video, since I'm not gonna be making a separate video for it. So yeah, man, without further ado, first fight of the night, we got a couple of newcomers. We got Manon Fiorot taking on Victoria Leonardo. Fiorot is sitting around a minus 190 favorite, Leonardo plus 165. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight, man, from a stylistic perspective. I think both girls, honestly, I think they have the skills to have earned this UFC shot. Obviously, Leonardo, she came out and beat Chelsea Hackett on the Contender Series. Hackett was a highly touted prospect, and she came in there, implemented her game plan on there, got a nice win, and then Fiorot, I guess, has been around in the European kickboxing scene for a while, and man, you can see it from her fights. She sure can strike, but yeah, when I initially looked at it, I'm like, man, this is a lot like Victoria Leonardo's last fight against Chelsea Hackett. She's pretty much going up against a one-dimensional striker. But when I actually dug into the tape, man, Fiorot has some grappling to her. I don't think this is a Chelsea Hackett situation. Chelsea Hackett had 3 pro fights, hasn't really been tested in the grappling at all. When I watched tape on Fiorot, there was a lot of fights where it did hit the mat. She was the one getting takedowns in some of them, and she looked pretty damn good on the ground. So, and another thing with that Leonardo versus Hackett fight, before Leonardo was able to implement her game plan with the grappling, Hackett was piecing her up bad, man. And I don't see any reason why Fiorot is not going to do the same thing here. I think she comfortably outstrikes Leonardo, and if Leonardo happens to get a takedown or two here, I'm not convinced it's some kind of complete mismatch down there like the Hackett fight was last time. I think Fiorot's got some solid skills down there, so I'm gonna go with her. I think she's a rightful favorite. It's tough to bet a 5-1 newcomer at minus 190 though, and I also don't think she's gonna get a finish here. So from DraftKings and a betting perspective, I'm just completely passing on this fight altogether. If you think Leonardo wins, plug her in on DraftKings, man, because I mean she's pretty cheap. Salaries are out. You can see she's pretty cheap. If she wins, it's going to be grappling based. She'll get those takedown points, that control time points. So if you do think she wins, plug her into DraftKings. But for me personally, I'm good. Um, Moving on to the next fight, we got a good one here, man. We got Umar Nurmagomedov. He is about minus 500. He's taking on Sergey Morozov, two debuting fighters once again. A lot of newcomers on this card. And man, I like this kid, Umar Nurmagomedov. Of course, we could be a little sketched out and say the Nurmagomedov name doesn't mean anything. Look at Abu Bakar's last fight. He made his debut against Zawada, and he got subbed. I think he got found out, man, and he was a big favorite in that fight. And Umar, same thing, big favorite here. But I got to be honest, man. This dude is like little Khabib, to be honest. This dude is not a fraud like Abu Bakar. Umar is serious. Um, and another thing, like, not I know I just compared him to Khabib, but like when Khabib first came into the UFC, I mean, we knew he had like almost no striking. It took years to develop. When I watch Umar strike, I mean, his striking is a lot better than Khabib's was when Khabib debuted, and he's got the wrestling, he's got the grappling, really good sub skills. I think this dude is going to be like the next great fighter out of that gym, man. I mean, you had Khabib, then along came Islam Makhachev, and then I think we're looking at Umar Nurmagomedov as the next big fighter out of that gym. I'm expecting big things out of this guy. When it comes to Sergey Morozov, man, I mean, he's good. He's got a lot of experience. This will be his 20th pro fight. I do think he's solid everywhere. He's been in there with guys like Movsar Evloev, but I just view him as kind of average, to be honest. Like, I don't. When I watch tape on Umar, I see something special. When I watch tape on Sergey, it's just like I'm watching just another Fight Nights Global or ACB, whatever those Russian promotions are out there. Just doesn't spark as anything more than average to me. So I see the minus 500 favorite. I think he's live for a finish. Morozov has been finished a couple times, so yeah, he's the most expensive guy in DraftKings, but I see him finishing here, so I think you got to pay up, man. I like this kid Umar. I'm gonna say he gets a sub in the second round. Mike Davis versus Mason Jones. So you got Mike Davis around a minus 170 favorite here. Mason Jones plus 150. A lot of money is coming on Mason Jones, man. I mean, Mike Davis was minus 300 favorite at the opener, and I think I got steamed rightfully, man. Like, Mason Jones is, again, here's another debuting fighter. I think Mason Jones is a pretty special prospect. Now, I say prospect because I do think the guy still has a lot of developing to do, especially on the feet. I mean, he gets hit a little too much, man, and that's Mike Davis's specialty. I mean, the dude's a serious striker, so I get why Mike Davis is the favorite. As long as this fight's on the feet, I see him picking apart Mason Jones. The problem is I can't really bet Mike Davis at heavy juice here just because I think he's at a big grappling differential, man. Mason Jones is he's a BJJ black belt, has been for a long time, and under legit lineage. We're not talking no fraud black belt here, and yeah, if he's able to take down Mike Davis, I think he has a good chance to either hold him there for the whole round or possibly submit him, man. Thing is, I don't know if he's going to have the wrestling to do it. And I think he's outmatched so badly on the feet here that I think it's going to be hard for him to set up takedowns. So yeah, I'm going to go with Mike Davis. Mike Davis has been in there with guys like Gilbert Burns, um, better experience. I just think this will be a good learning experience for Mason Jones, and I do think the sky's the limit for him. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mike Davis. I mean, I didn't even bring up how good of a prospect Mike Davis is. I think Mike Davis is serious as well. We're just talking about two guys with 10 pro fights here, very early in their career. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they made this matchup, man. This kind of reminds me of Punahele Soriano versus Dushko Todorovic that we just saw. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't see the reason to put two blue chip prospects in right against each other. I don't see why, but I guess from a fan perspective, I mean, I can't fucking wait to see it. So yeah, I've rambled enough. Mike Davis, I'm gonna go with him by decision. Next fight, Jerome Rivera and Francisco Figueiredo. So the brother of Davis and Figueiredo making his UFC debut here. Um, he is a minus 150 favorite, sitting somewhere around there. And yeah, I mean, I don't think he's no Davison. Like, he's not quite as powerful. He's not quite as athletic. But he is a good striker, man. And I think he is definitely a better striker than Jerome Rivera. Man, Jerome Rivera is a guy I'm not even really convinced should have gotten the UFC call. If you watch his Contender Series fight against Luis Rodriguez, I thought Rodriguez got robbed. He won that fight. Let's be honest here. And then Jerome had his UFC debut against Tyson Nam. He actually didn't look too bad to start that fight, but as it progressed, yeah, Tyson Nam, he put him away nice and good for sure. But Tyson Nam, I mean, he's a very experienced, powerful guy as well. I mean, I'd take Tyson Nam over Francisco Figueiredo as well. So much different matchup here. Um, Man, I think Jerome needs to shoot. I just don't see how this is going to go well for him on the feet here. But like, man, he went 0-5 on takedowns against Luis Rodriguez on Contender Series, and Figueiredo doesn't have the worst takedown defense in the world, man. So I think he's favored for a reason. I'm not overly confident or anything, but I'm gonna go with Figueiredo to get his UFC debut victory here against Jerome Rivera, and it's going to be tough for Jerome, man, starting off 0-2 in the UFC potentially, plus the Contender Series fight in my eyes didn't go his way. So I don't know, man. Maybe he has a lot to prove here. Who knows? These are, I mean, relatively unknown guys. Anything could happen. But yeah, I'm going to go with Figueiredo with the pick. Moving on to the next one. Speaking of another really, really heavy, line move, we got Dalcha Lungiambula taking on Marcus Maluko Perez. Lungiambula opened a -3 or -350 favorite. It's all the way down to -140. And this one I don't understand, man. I actually like Dalcha here. I mean, I definitely understand betting it down from 300. Dalcha shouldn't have been -300, but I think he should be a good size favorite here, man. I mean, now Tapology says this fight is at a 205 pounds, but that is not true. It is 185 pounds. Dalcha is going to be moving down. Either way, man, I think Dalcha is going to be a fucking unit at -185. Barring the weight cut goes well, hoping that everything goes well for him in his debut down at 185. Like if he comes tip shop in good health, I view him as the much more physical, powerful guy than Maluko Perez here. Now, I'm going to give Maluko an advantage here. He clearly has the better grappling. One does not simply submit Ian Heinisch. Like, the guy's going to have the advantage there. Oh, man, I don't see how he's going to get it there. I just think Dalcha's going to be too strong with the takedown defense. And, dude, I mean, when it comes to the striking, I can see him putting some power in Maluko's chin. Maluko just got knocked out like 3 months ago against Dricus du Plessis, the South African gentleman who just made his debut. Man, I'm thinking about betting on Dalcha. I haven't done it yet. By the way, I haven't even said it. I do have 2 bets for this card already. I'm thinking about Dalcha for my third, to be honest with you. The line keeps going, so I'm just going to sit back, see what happens. Man, I'd love for it to flip. I couldn't imagine Dalcha at plus money here, but we'll see. I'm going to go with Dalcha. I'm going to say he knocks out Marcus Maluko Perez here in the first or second round. So moving on, speaking of knockouts, my boy Sue Mudaerji, he's -500. He's taking on Zaruk Adashev. Yeah, I mean, it's it's pretty obvious what they're doing here. Sue Mudaerji is coming off a, highlight reel KO. Granted, that was Malcolm Gordon, a guy who, if you watch Malcolm Gordon's career, he's got the worst chin in recent UFC history. I don't think Zaruk Adashev is that chinny. Like, I'm sure people will come on here and call him chinny just because he got knocked out by Tyson Nam. Man, we're gonna be talking about Tyson Nam a lot this video, huh? Nam has amazing power, and that was a short notice debut for Adashev. He was clearly out of shape as well. I think Adashev is going to come in here. I don't think. I know Adashev is going to come in here in better shape this time. He's at a full camp. I don't know if Sue Mudaerji hits quite as hard as Tyson Nam. I think this is going to be more like a 30-27, 30-26 type display from Sue Mudaerji. So, man, I don't know what the decision prop on Sue is. I'm sure everyone's on the KO prop. So, little, contrarian bet there. But, yeah, I got to roll with Sue Mudaerji here, man. I feel like that's the conversation here. Is Sue going to get a KO or a decision? The conversation isn't, is Sue going to win or is Adashev going to win? I mean, Adashev's 3-2, guys. I mean, he, I just don't think he's quite on Sue Mudaerji's level. Bad matchup for him. Zaruk's a striker as well. I just view Sue as much faster, much more athletic. He just flows better. He throws better combinations. He's longer, much longer. He's going to have a big reach advantage here. So, Yeah, Sue's favored highly for a reason, so I'll go with him by, I'll say 30-26. Moving on, we got Ricky Simone taking on yet another newcomer. We got Gaetano Pirrello from Belgium. Simone's sitting a big favorite right now, I believe minus 400 or even minus 500. These lines just keep flying up. He's minus 440 right now. You know, you got to pick Simone here, man. I mean, what a tough debut that is. Ricky Simone, you can say what you want about him. He's lost a couple bad fights. Let's be honest, but dude brings some serious pressure to the table. He's got really great experience at this point. I mean, he's gone and seen it all, man. I mean, been in there with Hall of Famer Uriah Faber, although that one didn't go his way. Gaetano Perillo has never seen anything like that before, and short notice as well. It's just hard to pick him here. But then again, like, do I really want to parlay Ricky Simone at minus 440 when last time I parlayed this guy is a big favorite? Although I thought he had a huge, skill advantage there. He got knocked out by Faber, who, I mean, who else is Uriah Faber knocked out in the UFC? And not only that, you watch his fight against who's the Brazilian jobber. Ricky Simone lost to the fucking guy that just got a win. I got to look it up now. It's going to drive me crazy. Anderson Dos Santos. Dos Santos got a submission there. But if you actually watch the fight, he hurt Simone on the feet. It's pretty safe to say Ricky Simone is a little chinny. This guy, he is a striker. That's a specialty. He hits hard. So it's like, this is just a complete pass. Simone is most likely going to win, but you can't play him minus 440 when he's proven to be a chinny guy. So I'm passing on this one, but I'm going to say Simone comes out here and gets a round 3 TKO. Moving on to the next fight, man. So we got a rebooking here with Omari Ahkmedov. He's currently a plus 140 or plus 140 underdog against Tom Breese, who's minus 160. Ah, man, I feel like Tom Breese being a slight favorite is probably the accurate line here. Like, he is the more talented guy than Omari, in my opinion. I feel like he has a big advantage on the feet here. I see him picking apart Omari. It's basically just, and I'm not saying Omari's a bad striker by any means. I mean, I went out and bet Omari against Ian Heinisch, and he was outstriking Heinisch on the feet. I don't think he's bad by any means. I just think Breeze is a really good boxer, man. He's big for the division. It's crazy that he fought at 170, but he's definitely put some size on. Yeah, man. So yeah, I just see Breeze picking him apart. Omari's got to get the takedowns. I'm just not sure if he can. Another factor, we all know how Tom Breeze is on the mental aspect of things. I mean, it's hard to trust the guy. So again, I'm sorry guys, but this is probably going to be another pass fight for me. I'm going to go with Breeze. I'm going to say he ekes out a 29-28 split decision, but if y'all are out there taking the shot on Omari, I can't personally do it, but I don't blame you at all. He does have a wrestling advantage. Like I said, Breeze might not be the mentally strongest, so it's like, not only that, Omari's been fighting at like the ranked top 10 to top 20 for a while now. Tom Breeze has been inactive, man. Not lately, but Omari has a lot more fights in the past 3 years. Let's just say that. So moving on to the next fight, we got Lerone Murphy. He's taking on Douglas Da Silva Andrade, and it is minus 310 Lerone Murphy plus 255 Andrade. Lerone Murphy impressed me so much last time, man. I mean, did anybody? I mean, I'd love to see it. If you got a YouTube video timestamped previous to the date, if anybody out there said Lerone Murphy was going to take down Ricardo Ramos and beat him on the ground, if anybody actually said that, let me know, because that was a very, very unexpected outcome. A lot of people did think he would win, but not in that fashion, man. A lot of people thought he would be on the feet, and that is Lerone's bread and butter, man. I mean, he is a striker first and foremost, but showing that new aspect to his game, man. I mean, he, in my eyes, he went from like an average prospect to a blue chip prospect. I like this guy a lot. I think he's heavily favored here for a reason. You look at Douglas Silva de Andrade's record, that 26-3. That's like a little misleading. I know it can look a little scary, but when you look at his record, it's mostly it's padded. And you look at who he's actually beat, the ghost of Renan Barão and Chito Vera. And let's talk about that Chito Vera versus Douglas Andrade fight. If you've never seen that fight, go watch it firstly. take a nice long look at how Douglas Andrade looked physically in that fight and compare it to a couple more recent fights, man. I think for whatever reason, I believe that fight was in Brazil too, but I could be completely wrong about that. Douglas Andrade had the finest of finest juices that night, and he was just able to completely toy with Cheeto. Cheeto just was not ready for the physicality, but yeah, he's not getting away with that shit anymore. Don't expect that version of Andrade. This deflated version of Andrade, I don't think is ready for Lerone Murphy. I see Murphy winning this fight wherever it goes, man. I mean, he's for sure gonna outstrike Douglas Andrade. Like Andrade hits hard for sure. Got to look out for that. But I got no reason to believe Lerone Murphy's chinny. Like, of course, it's a fight. Anything can happen, but I don't see him getting knocked out here. I can even see Lerone Murphy going out and shooting again, winning that way. So, yeah, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I think he's a big favorite for a reason. So, I'm going to say Murphy gets the finish, man. I'll go with round 2 KO. Moving on to the next one. We got Vivi Araujo taking on Roxanne Modaferri plus 270. Man, I mean, how many times does Roxanne Modafferi come through as a big underdog? It's like it's got to be at least 4 or 5 times now. It's crazy, and usually much bigger than this too. Sometimes +4, +500. Of course, the Macy Barber one was arguably upset of the year last year. It probably was in my eyes. Macy is I still view Macy as a good prospect. Shit just happens. Roxanne's a tough vet, and yeah, I think this is a good tough vet test for Vivi Araujo. I mean, I think this line should actually be closer. I don't view this as one-sided as some of the other -3 and -400s we were just talking about, but I think you do have to favor Vivi Araujo in this fight. She's had a few fights in the UFC now. I think that experience was good for her. She clearly has talented striking for sure. She's great. She's got natural power, something you don't really see with women fighters that much, and I think the grappling is slowly getting better, but make no mistake about it. If this fight hits the mat, Roxanne Modafferi 100% has the advantage. And for a fighter to have such a clear advantage and be, plus 265, whatever she is, I'm going to come out here and say it. Roxanne Modafferi is, 100% a live dog. I view this as dog or pass. It's just, uh, it's hard betting on Roxy, man, because she's so unassuming and you just really can't trust her to do certain things. It's like I don't know, man. Like if you want to take the 1 unit shot on Roxanne Modafferi, I applaud you. I hope you cash, but I can't do it personally. Like she has taken a lot of damage over the years, and I feel like a decline will come eventually. I mean, she's been in the fight game for how long? I got to look up when Roxanne's first MMA fight was. Like man, we got to see a drop off eventually and a possible KO loss eventually. First pro fight was in 2003, man, 18 years ago. I'm not saying this is going to be the fight where it happens, but I think you could look for a possible bad loss for Roxanne in the future. And with the power that Araujo has, could be this one, man. So I think Vivi's live for a KO too. I think there's a lot of ways this fight could go. I'll go with Vivi. I'm gonna say she squeaks out a decision, but Roxanne for sure is the play here. I just can't do it personally. Moving on to the next fight. Kind of crazy that this fight's on the main card so high up as well. We got I'm gonna say the two of the biggest jobbers in the UFC. We got Ike Villanueva. He is -135 taking on Vinicius Mahmoud Mohea. He is plus 120, I believe. Man, I mean, so neither of these guys, I believe, have a UFC win. Ike Villanueva came in, lost to Chase Sherman. And where is Chase Sherman, by the way? He comes in, gets a nice, impressive win, or I say impressive, but it was against Ike. That guy, I mean, he beat the shit out of Ike, and he hasn't came back since. And then he got a doctor stoppage against Jordan Wright, one of the biggest clowns in the UFC. Jordan Wright, 185-pounder on short notice, came in and fucking finished Ike Villanueva. And then you got Mahmoud on the other side, came in, got knocked out by Alonzo Menafield, got knocked out by Eric Anders, got submitted by Paul Craig, all first-round finishes. So it's like, why the fuck are these guys the fight before the co-main event? I don't get it at all. But yeah, man, I'm gonna come out here and pick an underdog here. I'm gonna pick Mahmoud here. I mean, it's hard to be confident in a guy like that, but man, I feel like he should be the favorite. So you go back before his UFC debut against Alonzo Menafield, he actually went up against John Allen, who's in the UFC now on the Contender Series, and he submitted John Allen. If you watch John Allen versus Roman Dolidze, John Allen isn't an easy guy to submit. And when you really look at Mahmoud's career, the guy is a very talented BJJ grappler. It's just he sucks on the feet. He's chinny. He doesn't really have the wrestling to get it there. He's low level. He's one dimensional. But the thing is, this might be the fight to do it, man. Ike Villanueva is firstly, he's small. He's not a real 205er like Mahmoud. Mahmoud is he's a full bodied 6'4", 205 pounder. Ike, you can see most of his career at middleweight. I mean, he's kind of blown up here at 205. And not only that, man, I mean, he's been taken down a lot. He's been subbed. I mean, I have no reason to believe that he should be able to stuff the takedowns of Mamu. I feel like if you're betting on Ike Villanueva here at minus 140 of all things, you're praying that he knocks out Mamu before the first takedown happens because I'm telling you, man, if Mamu takes down Ike Villanueva, it's a mismatch down there. He's going to sub him, but the problem is these fights start on the feet. He's got to get it to the mat firstly. Ike does have some power. He's gotten some nice knockouts. Obviously, Mahmoud's got that glass chin. It's just like it's such a tough fight to call, man. You could go the route of the doesn't go to decision, although I'm sure that line is fucking very heavy. Under, you can go Mahmoud sub, Ike KO. I wonder how the hedge on that would look. You know what? Let's take a look right now. So Mahmoud by sub is plus 225. Ike by KO. Ike by KO is only plus 120. Okay, so the hedge isn't quite worth it. At plus 120, I wouldn't say Ike by KO is worth it, although that probably is his path. I'd rather go the way of Mahmoud by sub plus 225. If y'all want to take that prop shot, I don't blame you. I just can't do it personally. I mean, we're talking about probably the worst chin in the UFC, and I've talked about this fight way too much, but for DraftKings, you got to target it. I mean, Ike's going to come in here and get a KO, or Mahmoud's going to come in here and get a sub. One of two things is going to happen. Let's be honest here. So you kind of have to think about it, man. If you play DraftKings, you got to look at every fight, think about every outcome, who's going to finish. And man, I'm going to go with the underdog Mahmoud here. I think he takes down Ike. I don't think there's much resistance in Ike's takedown defense game. So yeah, Mahmoud's going to get the takedown and sub Ike as an underdog. You heard it here first. I think he's a good DraftKings play. I'm going to be plugging him in. So moving on, co-main event of the evening, we got Munier Lazzez plus 230 or minus 235 taking on Worley Alves plus 195. Man, my boy Munier Lazzez in his UFC debut against Abdul Razak Al Hassan comes in big underdog, and I'll be honest, he did have to weather a storm for sure. Al Hassan came out like he normally does, fist blazing, big power, but man, Munier Lazzez, he ate every shot with really no problem. He wasn't even that wobbled, man. I mean, he didn't get dropped. I mean, he was able to eat all that shit up. And once, 3 minutes passed by, it was pretty much all him the rest of the way. Showed off his skills. He's got a gas tank. He's a great striker, big for the division. I mean, this dude he's for real. And I've gone back in his career. Obviously, you want to see how maybe his grappling is, especially in a matchup like this against Worley, where Worley's only advantage here is the BJJ, man. Let's be honest. And I went back, looked at Lazzez's career, and I don't think he's some fish out of water on the mat. Obviously, that would be his weak spot, would be the mat. But I feel like even if Worley takes down Lazzez here, I think he'll be fine. Just survive till the next round, which that's going to be big because we all know Worley Alves does not really have a gas tank, and unless he's able to come in here and submit Lazzez early, I just see him getting picked apart. Bad on the feet the rest of the way, possibly getting TKO'd in the second or third. So that's what I think is going to happen, man. It's just, I just think Worley's so outgunned on the feet here to where I think it's going to be hard for him to set up takedowns, kind of with the Mason Jones Mike Davis fight I was talking about. Yeah, Mason Jones probably has a good wrestling grappling advantage, but he's just so outmatched on the feet. It's going to be hard to set up those takedowns. Same thing with Worley. It's going to be hard to set up those takedowns, man. I know he got a couple on Randy Brown, but it's like he wasn't able to do much with him, and he gassed the next round, and he got submitted the next round. Got submitted by Randy Brown. I mean, I'll be honest, guys. Worley Alves, I think, is on his way out of the UFC. He had his chance. He had a little bit of hype at one point, but the guy's kind of a habitual loser. Let's be honest here. He's got a lot of holes in his game. He's got cardio issues. So I think they set up the prospect Munier Lazzez with a nice matchup here. They're trying to build him up, and I took a bet on him. I moved a little bit earlier. I bet him last week. I got 4 units and minus 190. You can still get minus 235. I'm going to be honest. I think that's still value. I think Lazzez should be along the lines of minus 300 here. So if you want to parlay up Munier Lazzez, I'm all for that. So moving on, next fight, and I got Lazzez by round 2 TKO, by the way. So moving on to the main event of the evening, we got Neil Magny, minus 145. He's taking on Michael Maverick Chiesa, plus 125. Dude, this is a good ass main event. I've been looking forward to seeing Chiesa again for a while. I mean, he's been inactive, bro, and like he looked so damn good against RDA. Say whatever you want about RDA. He's washed. He's old. Whatever. He's a 155er, dude. I mean, Michael Chiesa looked fucking fantastic. His grappling pressure is unreal. His wrestling gets better every fight. Obviously, his squeeze is like no other. He has got freak strength. Add 170 to that. I mean, he's so much better at 170. Like that cut that cut was killing him at minus. That cut was killing him at 155 pounds. And up here at 70, he's healthy, he's strong. And if you look at Neil Magny's UFC career, historically, this is a matchup that he has struggled with in the past. I mean, I'll go back to the Johnny Hendricks fight a few years ago. And we're not talking about champion Johnny Hendricks. We're not even talking about 1 or 2 fights after being the champion. We're talking about washed Johnny Hendricks here. Johnny Hendricks was landing every single takedown he shot on Neil Magny. I know we're talking about Hendricks with great wrestling credentials, but like I said, he was completely washed. He kept losing fights after that. He got cut from the UFC eventually. We're even talking about he's been taken down a lot, man. I just think with the recent matchups he's had, he hasn't really had that threat. Like, I don't think Rocco Martin has the wrestling and grappling threat of a Chiesa. Obviously, Robbie Lawler tried to go the takedown route with Neil Magny last time, which, that fucking blows my mind. When has Robbie Lawler ever fucking wrestled before that? He looked awful in that fight too. But yeah, man, I mean, even the Li Jingliang fight, striker, Neil Magny has not really had a big grappling test in a while. You got to go all the way back to the RDA fight where I believe it was either RDA's second or third welterweight fight. Came in, just took down Magny, completely ran through him, cut through him like butter on that mat. Compare that performance to Michael Chiesa versus RDA, where Chiesa pretty much, dominated the guy from start to finish. He didn't look like he was slowing down at all. I know this fight is 25 minutes, and I know Magny has great cardio, but I'm going to be honest. I think Chiesa has great cardio too, and I have no reason to believe he's going to slow down here, man. He's going to be getting takedowns. He might sub Magny early. If he doesn't, I truly believe he can keep it up. Even if he just wins the first 3 rounds and maybe the fourth and fifth don't go his way, maybe he isn't going to be able to get the takedowns and he gets outstruck. Who knows? But man, I'll take the first 3 rounds all day long here, or a sub, But yeah, Magny, you got to admit he's a cardio machine. He's very good on the feet. He's long. I mean, Magny's a very challenging guy to deal with on the feet, and I don't think this is going to be a walk in the park for Chiesa to just come in and immediately land takedowns. I think Chiesa is going to be forced to strike at some points in this fight, but man, how long has Chiesa been a ranked guy in the UFC? The guy's been around forever. He's a high-level guy. It's just, I view this line as recency bias, man. Chiesa hasn't fought in a while. Magny is coming off 3 straight impressive wins. I just don't see why Magny is favored to be able to stuff the wrestling of Chiesa here. So I took a 3-unit shot on Chiesa, 3 units plus 120. I think he's a very live underdog. I mean, the path is there, man. Just wrestle this guy. You should probably be able to submit him. If not, like I said, I think he's got the cardio to go 25, but like I said, no walk in the park either. I'm extremely respectful of Neil Magny. I think he's got the striking advantage here, and I'll say he probably does have the cardio advantage. I mean, one does not simply out cardio Neil Magny. Although I will say, one of the last times he was in a 25-minute fight, he did lose the later rounds to Kelvin Gastelum, and I know that sounds crazy. Everyone was expecting Kelvin early and Magny late. It wasn't like that at all. If you watch that fight, it was Magny early and Kelvin late, which kind of surprised me. But yeah, man, I mean, that's another thing. Magny's got that 25-minute experience. Chiesa does not. But I just think when you break it down, how do these guys match up? Chiesa's got a big advantage, and he will wrestle Magny here. So, yeah, I like the bet. I just have two bets as of now. 3 units Chiesa plus 120, 4 units Lazzez minus 190. As far as anything else that I am got my eyes on, I'm definitely looking at Dalcha, Lungi, and Bula. I probably will end up betting him. Anything else? Nothing else really stands out to me at the moment. It might just be those 3 plays. Just being patient on Dalcha because the line is getting better like literally every fucking hour. So yeah, guys, that's it. Ran about 36 minutes. Kind of surprised I got through 14 fights in fucking 36 minutes, but yeah, appreciate you guys that all tuned in live, all you guys on the live chat. Kobe Cap, early weigh-in podcast. Y'all are dope. Daniel Barron, Mario Acosta, y'all are the real ones. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to be back on the channel in 2 days with Will Martin. We're going to be breaking down what could end up being the biggest fight of the year, man. I mean, there's nothing quite like a Conor McGregor fight, and especially a rematch with Dustin Poirier. I mean, I'm so hyped up for this matchup, man. I still got some tape to watch for the other fights, but card looks great as well. I'm super pumped, man. So yeah, like I said, Thursday. Let me see if I can give you guys a time. So it's gonna be around 1:30 Eastern time in the afternoon. 1:30 my time. That's 6:30 Will's time out in Scotland. So yeah, I'll see you guys Thursday. Big card. Good luck with all your bets on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be a big night too. So appreciate you guys. If you haven't subbed to the channel yet, would greatly appreciate that. Like the video as well. Appreciate you guys. See ya.